Hello everybody, casual viewers and subscribers alike, and welcome back to a brand new Doctor Who YouTube video. So today I thought, since I do videos on Wednesdays and Saturdays usually, and it is a Saturday today, I would do another video, and I will be continuing one of my series that I promised at the end of 2020. This series is What If Doctor Who Wasn't Cancelled. This is part 4, and I will be discussing what would happen with the 10th Doctor. Now I've already discussed everything with the 7th Doctor, 8th Doctor, 9th Doctor, and 10th Doctor, who will be played by Sylvester McCoy, Richard E. Grant, Paul McGann, and the 10th Doctor I will discuss later. So yes, this is basically a video series where, if in an alternate universe, Doctor Who was never cancelled in 1989 and it just continued going and gradually entering its second golden age. Now, so yes, without further ado, let's get into this video and I hope you enjoy. If you enjoy my content, please like this video and comment down below what you think of this video series. Now, let's first just talk about the 10th Doctor. Now, I think the 10th Doctor would be played by Michael French, who is a British actor who has done quite a lot of films and programmes, and I think he would really suit the role of Doctor. I think he would be a very, a sort of very James Bond-esque Doctor, kind of resembling Pertwee and, in a way, McCoy. I think the feel of this Doctor would be a lot darker and gritty, with definitely elements of anti-hero, so, you know, very serious, yet at times friendly Doctor. I think this would really work, since we haven't really had a Pertwee-esque Doctor, really, since maybe the 6th Doctor. He resembled Pertwee slightly, in the sense that he was a very action-orientated Doctor. Anyway, I think Michael French's 10th Doctor would be a lot like Pertwee and McCoy. So let's talk about a new showrunner as well. At this point, Russell T Davies would have been showrunner for a good 6 seasons now, and that is, you know, more than enough. Russell T Davies in this reality was only on Doctor Who for 4 seasons, so I think the new showrunner would be Mark Gatiss. Before Doctor Who, he was still a very critically acclaimed writer for several other films, programmes and stage plays, so I think he would be the perfect choice, and he's written some pretty good episodes in my opinion, such as The Crimson Horror, and he's acted actually in quite a lot of episodes, such as The Lazarus Experiment and Twice Upon a Time. So yes, this is why I think Mark Gatiss would be a very good showrunner, since he is all round very good at directing, writing and acting. Now, let's talk about season 35. Now, this era will, obviously, you know, it's moving into the 21st century now, and I think it will be 6 stories told across 12 episodes. The serializations would have kind of died out by now, and, you know, serialized programs wouldn't really happen. They were all episodic. So I think this would continue in the footsteps of seasons 33 and 34, and have 6 stories told across 12 episodes, more specifically 6 2-part stories. I think this would work much better than a serialization. I think this would go from the 16th of April 2000 to the 2nd of July 2000. I think it would need more of an 18-19 month gap, since we are transitioning into a new showrunner, and that's usually what happens when there is a new showrunner. It happened with the transition from Russell T Davies to Stephen Moffat, and it kind of happened from Stephen Moffat to Chris Chibnall, so this is why. Also, we would have a new companion in the form of Rose Tyler, because it's largely the same ideas from showrunners. I think Rose Tyler would end up being a companion, maybe by a slightly different actress, because Billie Piper would have obviously been much younger. I haven't really decided on that yet. I might let you know in the next video, who knows. So, in terms of this season 35 stories, we would obviously have 2-parters, just in the form of part 1, part 2. So, these 6 stories are Fallout. I can see this being a very dark, gritty, earthbound story about aliens who are trying to take over like nuclear codes, and the Doctor's kind of transported into the future, into basically a certain reality where there's like a nuclear fallout and everyone's dying, so he's got to try and prevent that. Number 2, Earth and Blood. I can see this being another sort of Earth alien invasion story, a very sort of, you know, spy-based story about maybe some Sycorax, who knows, invading Earth. Number 3, Horror of Crimson. Since this is a Mark Gatiss story, it would basically be the Crimson Horror, but with a slightly different title, because Mark Gatiss obviously did write Crimson Horror. Number 4, Emergence of the Warriors. This would be an Ice Warrior story, since Mark Gatiss has produced all of the New Who Ice Warrior stories so far, in the form of Cold War and Empress of Mars, so I think Emergence of the Warriors would be one of those, maybe set on Mars, since, you know, the Doctor wouldn't just be Earthbound. Number 5, The Darkness and the Light. I can see this being a very space-bound story, where yes, it's kind of like wars between planets, kind of like a very Star Wars-esque story that I think would work very, very well. And number 6, The Unquiet Dead, a story that Mark Gatiss wrote in 2004/2005. I think this would end up being the finale, a nice little historical to finish it all off. No huge stakes in this. Now on to season 36. Now, I think this would be 9 stories told across 13 episodes, so this includes obviously 4 two-parters and 5 separate episodes to make up 9 stories, because we are emerging into the age of episodic series and not serializations, so I think this will just make a lot more sense, because it's getting gradually slightly more modern. So this will be set 20 years ago, from the 25th of March 2001 to the 17th of August 2001. I don't really think I mentioned this before, but I can imagine them being on Sundays, since that's how they are now, and Mark Gatiss does have quite a large role in Doctor Who overall. Also, this would have a much darker and grittier feel, and lots of historicals as well, just like the previous season. So in terms of the season 36 stories, again we're going to have 9 stories. I haven't decided on 3 of the titles, but 6 of them I have decided on. These will be Stone Shift, which is going to be a Weeping Angel story that Mark Gatiss would have wrote. Fracture of Reality, which would be a very like TARDIS-based, sort of like trippy, weird, like very CGI-based story. Number 3, The Lazarus Experiment, a Mark Gatiss story about a monster going around this like scientific laboratory building, basically like. And they've got to stop this monster. It's a very monster-based story, as you can see. Number 4, Insomniac. I can see this being a very horror, like a very, horror-style story. Basically, kind of like Sleep No More in a way, but hopefully much better quality. Number 5, Rise of the Daleks. I can see this being a lot like the episode Dalek. I can just see it being very similar. However, it is multiple Daleks. And finally, number 6, Cyber War, which would essentially be, Rose Tyler leaving, because I think the companion would have run her course by then. And obviously the story would involve Cybermen. Now on to season 37. I think this would be 10 stories told across 13 episodes, and it would go from go across 13 Sundays from the 14th of April 2002 to the 7th of July 2002. I think the 10th Doctor will still be played by Michael French, and he will regenerate at the end of the season. It is very normal for a Doctor to have 3 seasons, as seen by the 1st Doctor, 2nd Doctor, 5th Doctor, 7th Doctor, 10th, 11th, 12th, and probably 13th Doctors. So you can see he's regenerating, and I haven't decided who is going to be the 11th Doctor yet, but we'll just find out in part 5. In terms of the season 37 stories, I couldn't think of 10 story titles. However, I have thought of 6, and these are Equinox of Mars, another Mars-based story with the Ice Warriors. However, it's going to be set much further in the past, kind of like the Ice Warriors' origins. Number 2, Assassins of Deraka Prime. I think this will be a very space-based story as well, with basically a bunch of alien assassins after the Doctor. I think this would make for some really fun and entertaining battles. Number 3, The Reptile Ascension. This would probably be set in the year 2020 and basically see the story of a Silurian who managed to survive their cave being bombed by a unit in the episode Doctor Who and the Silurians. I think that would be a very nice callback. Number 4, Kablam. I think, since, remember, this is still Doctor Who, they would have the same ideas largely, and Kablam would probably end up being a story. And finally, number 5, Galaxy of the Daleks. This would be a huge-scale Dalek story set in space again, and I can see this being a very, large-scale, very explosive story. And in number 6, we have Valet or Veil Decem, which is obviously Latin for Goodbye 10, and was actually the title of the song that played when the 10th Doctor regenerated. I think this would be very similar to End of Time in terms of the Time Lords and the Master, and yeah, I can see this being a very good sort of story, to be honest, where the 10th Doctor regenerates. Now, in terms of the reception of these 3 seasons, season 35, 36 and 37, so the viewing figures, season 35 will average 9.4 million, season 36 9.2 million, and season 37 10.8 million. The season 37 finale gains 15.5 million viewers, because obviously the 10th Doctor regenerates and they want to see who the 11th Doctor is, and this would have been the highest viewing figure since City of Death Part 4 in 1979, which got 16.1 million viewers and is the highest viewed Doctor Who episode ever. In terms of the budget, the production values will be increased and probably equivalent or on par to 2005, 2006, 2007, the kind of early Russell T Davies sort of special effects and CGI. Doctor Who would also enter its second golden age, since it's getting so many viewers. It's kind of like the resemblant of the 10th Doctor era that we know, and the 4th Doctor's era with seasons 13 and 14. So I hope you enjoyed this different kind of video, everybody. Feel free to comment below with your opinions on this video series, and please like this video if you enjoy it. I really do love getting likes on my videos, so I would appreciate it. So yes, thank you for watching, everybody. On my next video, I haven't decided what it will be, however I will definitely let you know. It will probably be a new chapter of my fan series though, with Agent of the Daleks Chapter 1. Stay tuned for that, everybody, and goodbye.